Welcome to Empowered Heart to Heart, where you'll hear messages of hope, conversations that heal, and interviews that empower. Well, hey, this is Rhonda Simmons, and I am so glad to be back. Yes. Oh my goodness. It has been a whole huge minute since I've been on my podcast. Actually, February 28th, I believe, was my last episode. I cannot believe it's been just over 2 months since I shared with you. But I have good reasons, and I just want to tell you I am back. Empowered Heart to Heart is back, and Rhonda Simmons is back. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. So much has happened in the past 2 months until I'm just going to spend the next few minutes telling you because it's too good not to pass up. So let me tell you what has happened since the last time we talked. First thing, in the school district where I work, and just in case you didn't know, I'm an educator. One of the school principals resigned the last 9 weeks of the school year. She resigned. Her reasons, are her reasons, whatever, but she resigned. And when I found this out, I was at work sitting in my office and I got the text message that this had happened. All of a sudden, this unction came over me to march right into my superintendent's office and tell him these exact words. I was supposed to tell him that I am his answer to prayer. Yes, I know that sounds really off the wall, but that's what I was so impressed to tell him. And I sat there, and I tried to rationalize it away and think of reasons why I shouldn't take this humongous leap of absurd faith. But I couldn't escape it. So up I went. I marched across the building because I was working in the central admin building anyway. I marched across the building to go see the superintendent, but then someone was in his office, and so I couldn't really talk to him right then. So on the way there, and especially on the way back, would you believe a whole lot of negative self-talk started playing out in my head about why I couldn't do this job as a school principal, even though I've had my principal certification for the past, actually almost 10 years, and I've been an assistant principal for 6 of those years. So I had the experience, I had the knowledge, but yet the negative self-talk was going on in my head. Like, what in the world are you doing? Why do you think that you're qualified? You know, that whole imposter syndrome that I've talked about in previous episodes? Well, all of that came flooding back into my mind so quickly. So I went back to my office and I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm not supposed to have this job because there was someone in his office. He wasn't available to talk to. So maybe this wasn't for me. But again, I could not escape that impression that was overwhelming me that I had to talk to him that day and I had to tell him the exact words, I am your answer to prayer. So I got up and I marched over there a second time, and there was no one in his office. And so I marched right in and sat right down. And I said, look, this is me unrehearsed, unscripted, but I have to tell you something. I said, word on the street is that you have a principal's position open, and I am supposed to tell you these exact words. I am your answer to prayer. My superintendent's mouth dropped open, because this was a bold move, a huge move, um, that, I could not predict the outcomes. I just knew what I wanted. And so I told them all the reasons why I was the best candidate for the job, especially considering there were only 9 weeks left to the school year. And so this was not the time to be bringing someone new in off the street, so to speak. And so after I got finished telling him all of that, he looked at me and he said, well, Miss Simmons, here's the thing. The fact that you said those words, that you are an answer to my prayer, what you don't know is that your name had already come up in conversation this morning about this job, but I didn't know if you would be interested. And so I was praying to find out some direction whether to even ask you about it. So you marching in here to say those exact words that you are an answer to prayer was indeed an answer to prayer. And 24 hours later, y'all, I had the job. I was being introduced to my staff. I am a new school principal of students in grades pre-K all the way to 12th grade. I am so excited about it. Oh my goodness. So here's what I learned from that experience. Sometimes faith can seem so illogical and so absurd. Like, who on earth does that? You march into the office of the one person who can hire you or fire you. And we do at will agreements, so they don't need an excuse to fire me. And so, so there I was doing this bold move, just busting this move simply because I felt the unction of God to do it. And God brought it to pass. And I'm telling you, that changed everything for me because from that point forward, I began to really think about that scripture that says, you'll have whatsoever you say. That's a powerful statement because if I'm going to have whatsoever I say, then I need to make sure that I am speaking words of life, words of affirmation, words of faith. I need to speak those things as though they were. Even if they're invisible at the moment, I need to speak it like it already exists. And so I'm so excited because that was just a major milestone in my life. It wasn't just about the promotion or the raise or the prestige, whatever that is, that comes along with the job. It wasn't about that for me. It was about that God planted a seed of faith in my heart because I had wanted to be a principal for years and it just wasn't the right time. And then God opened up this opportunity and I literally walked right in. I didn't apply for the job. I didn't fill out any application. I didn't have any interview. In 24 hours or less, it was done. And I am so excited about it because now I know more than ever before that death and life truly does reside in the power of the tongue. And so I've got to make sure that I'm speaking life and speaking victory. And it's so important because life can throw you so many curveballs where complaining almost seems like a first response, a natural response. But we have to choose what we're going to say because our words have creative and destructive power. And so I want to make sure that I'm speaking words of life. And so here I am. I got my principal's job. And so it is a huge job. I am super duper busy. That's part of the reason why you haven't heard from me in so long. But I tell you, it's been for good reason. I would love, super love for you to share what's been going on in your life. Make sure you check us out on our website, www.tsefi.org. Drop me a line there. You can just click on contact us and it'll get to me so that I can know what's going on in your world. Oh my goodness, it has been an amazing journey. Guess what? That's not all I have to report. One huge reason why you haven't heard from me beside the job promotion is because I was in the final stages of my doctoral degree in education. And so I was working on my dissertation, and that is a lot of work. Let me tell you, I understand now why they call a doctorate a terminal degree. Because, oh my goodness, if the process doesn't kill you, you definitely deserve that piece of parchment. Let me tell you that. Oh my goodness. So I was in the final stages of writing, revising, and editing and analyzing my data and doing so much. And oh my goodness, I ended up with a 100-page manuscript and you have to submit it for review. And then if you get responses back that it has to be revised in any way, then you have to make those revisions and edits and all of that. So it's a back and forth, give and take. So I got through that and I submitted the final revisions. And so I was waiting to hear whether my manuscript was approved because I couldn't schedule my defense for my dissertation until it was approved. And do you remember back on April 8th, the day of the eclipse? Here in Texas, we were in the path of visibility, and it was amazing. Right before I stepped outside to watch the eclipse, I got an email from my professor saying, "Guess what? Your manuscript was approved. You can schedule your defense at any time." I emailed her back and I said, "I can be ready in 2 to 3 hours." Mind you, I had not even started on my final defense presentation, but I knew that was the day it was gonna happen. And guess what? 7 o'clock that evening, I defended my dissertation successfully, and by the time I went to bed that night, I was Dr. Rhonda L. Simmons. Yes, I am Dr. Simmons now. And then 10 days after that, my degree conferred. 10 days after that, I actually have my degree in hand, Doctor of Education, specializing in educational leadership. I am so excited. Has been a long journey through much sickness, through remarriage, through moving, through so many different things that have come up. I am so happy to share that. And so, yes, I am Dr. Rhonda Simmons, but I'm still here for you. I still love what I do. I still love reaching people where they are and connecting with them on deeper levels. I'm super duper excited. I think the last time we were together, I also shared about our Balanced Ministry Pastors' Wives Summit that I hosted at the very end of February and the beginning of March. That was a super success. Oh my goodness. No, this was not like a preaching virtual conference. This was not that. It was more like a professional development for pastors' wives because there's no scripture, there's no manual to tell pastors' wives how to be effective pastors' wives. And so, in the process of hosting this global summit with 15 speakers, oh my goodness, that was an amazing event. But in the midst of all that, God birthed my next assignment. And that is, I'm putting forth a two-book anthology for pastors' wives. I am super duper excited. You're going to find more information about that in the description below the podcast. It is going to be amazing. I've already started recruiting writers for the anthology. One book is called The Act of Balance for Pastors' Wives to help pastors' wives find a healthy balance for their marriages, their ministries, and their careers. It's going to be a powerful book. I can't wait for it to come out. It should be out by New Year's. So I'm super excited about that. The second book is actually a daily devotional for lady leaders in ministry. And so I'm looking for more contributing writers for that as well. It's going to be awesome. And the devotional journal is really an uplifting, quick read, in your daily quiet time that you may have to just encourage you to keep going and to keep moving forward. I am so super excited about these two books that I'm about to launch and in the process of recruiting writers. And if you're interested in being a contributing writer and you are a lady leader in ministry or you're a pastor's wife, click the links in the description beneath the podcast, and you'll be able to get in touch with me and find out more information. So that's what's been happening. Oh my goodness, is that not enough? Yeah. I cannot wait till the next episode because one more thing. This month, I started a personal consistency challenge. And so you'll get to hear about my journey in the next few episodes, just recounting some of the things that I've learned and the experiences that I've had so far. And it's just May 11th as of this recording. So I can't wait to share that with you. I think I've shared enough for this episode. So make sure you tune in for the next one so that you can learn what I've learned from this consistency challenge. Thanks again so much for being a faithful listener and downloading each episode. Keep doing it. Share this episode with your friends. Share it on your social media because I'm back. I'm here to stay and I am here for you. Most of all, have a good week, a good day. Be blessed, be encouraged, and most of all, be empowered. And I'll see you next time.